And welcome back, Louisiana softball fans. This is another episode of the Pelican Softball Report. It is our 2026 high school softball previews, and man, they have been intense. If you've watched what we did last week, hopefully you enjoyed those. If not, I invite you to go check out our YouTube page where you can look for the Pelican Softball Report playlist, and you'll find all of the videos back there. But got another state champion on board today and excited about this. This is head coach Brad Turney of the Holy Savior Menard Lady Eagles. They are the select Division 4 state champions. And coach, welcome.
Hey, thank you, Doug. I appreciate you having us on. We love what you do with this stuff.
Well, thank you. There's no place that we'd rather be right here. And we've got this, just an ounce of the passion that you do for it because we've seen you do some wonderful things out there at Menard, just including the field work that you do from that monsoon, and you played an hour later. But it's just a passion that you bring to it.
Well, I love it. It's something I've done since I was 12 years old, just being around part of the game. And I love being at the ballpark. I love being around my softball family, especially the fact that I've got my family support with it. So there's no place I'd rather be during the spring months for sure.
Look, before we get into the softball side of it, that's a good point. You've been around it for a long time, and maybe folks don't remember, but you pitched a little pro ball there for a while too. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I played a few years of pro ball. Played with the Alexandria Aces actually here when they had a team still in town from 2006 to 2009. So I was a part of 3 championship teams there. I got to play for the championship every year I was here, so that was definitely special. So it's definitely rubbed off on me, and to be able to bring another championship back to Central Louisiana, that was kind of special to me.
All right, which one was more special? One of those baseball ones as a player, or when you're dogpiling in at Frash Park this past May?
I tell you what, Fresh Park, there was nothing like that one. It's fun to win one as a player, but especially how that season unfolded. My first year on the softball side, being able to get in touch with these girls and getting to know them a little bit better, and to be able to have my daughter out there too, that was the icing on the cake right there. So this one definitely ranks up there above the baseball ones for sure.
Look, no pun intended, but I lobbed just softball on that one. There's no way that you answer that it was as a player. No.
No, the player ones are special, but when you're not able to be out there and fight for it, and it's kind of play, and you're the chess master on all this, so you set up the pieces, and hopefully they play out, and they did, like you said, and that's a great picture right there. It's a great team, you know.
Yeah, we take a look at it, and off of that team, you only lose 2 players. You lose Amelie Lyons and Sophie
Hmm.
Giordano. Sophie was a vocal leader for you. She was a big bat in the lineup, and she anchored shortstop for you as well, and just
Hmm.
class act.
She was, and that one's going to be tough to replace. But the way we got to go about it is we're not trying to replace that person. It's a new team, it's a new season. We've got holes that we need to fill, and it's time for girls to step up and fill those holes. And like you said, we create a new dynamic for another championship run.
You know, Coach, you talk about folks stepping up. It seemed like every game somebody new would step up, and that just showed the level of talent around the team that you had, from Sawyer doing what Sawyer does, leading off and playing center field. Heck, Beldrago gets things going with that home run up at St. Fred's in the
Hmm.
quarterfinal game as well, to Emma Davis just taking over the tournament down in Sulphur.
That was the beauty of that team, is you didn't know where it was coming from each day. Every one of them, even all the way down to Mika Keogh. I mean, down to the plays that she made in right field and Sulphur for us. I mean, I don't think you can ask anybody else to do that kind of stuff as an eighth grader. Kinsey Lyle stepping in as an eighth grader. So we had that good mix from the older girls all the way down to those young girls that found a spot in the lineup later in the year. And being able to have that at your disposal, knowing that somebody could come through at any point, it gave us a lot of confidence as a coaching staff, and I know it gave the girls a lot of confidence in each other to play for each other. So it wasn't like somebody had that stress every game. It was spread out, and that kind of helped us out.
You talk about those, and Mika makes our all tournament team just for the diving stops that she
Hmm.
made. She did some wonderful things out there. And Kenzie Lyles, who we had to move our booth out in left field because she was
She had
she was
y'all on
taking
the
aim at the
target for
scoreboard
sure.
with her home runs that she hits, and just an eighth grader. But you look at Addie that's over, that was just solid over at first base for you, and then Parati behind the dish. Man, you better count everybody on there plus two or three of the ones that came in, or you miss somebody.
It really does. I mean, even the girls that came off the bench, whether it be a pinch running situation or if a defensive replacement later try to come in and get a bunt down, whatever. I mean, everybody contributed, and that was what was great.
Yep. And then you look into the circle, and I know this is a proud moment. And we saw some great moments after these games between you and Kaylee Methvin, as you would come there and hug and embrace. And that was just such a special moment because of because of it being your daughter. And man, it was just great. But all that notwithstanding, she dominated in the circle.
Yeah, she really was. And the funny thing was, is right before the semifinal game, we were watching the game before us that went 9 innings, and it was one of them exciting games that you had the emotional highs, lows, what's going on in the extra frames, and we talked about it. And I made a joke to her. I said, "Are you ready to go 9 when it's our turn?" She's like, "If that's what it takes, let's do it." And lo and behold, we end up going 11, and then she comes out and throws 7 complete the next day against the great Opelousas Catholic team, and she was our rock in the middle for sure.
There's no doubt about it. And what a tremendous run. You guys come in at the 5 seed, which means you had to knock off the 4, the 2, and the 1 in
Hmm.
able to accomplish this state championship. But I don't believe, and I go back to what was it, maybe the Kinder game or one of those that it just looked like it was a switch that was flipped and you guys got laser focused.
The Kinder game was for sure one of the big turning points because I mean it's one of them games. It's a must win. It's on the road, and we talked about it. If that's what we're going to do going into Sulphur, we're going to have to go and play them stressful games on the road and understand what it feels like. And they went down there and they took the test and ran with it.
Now, one person that had no doubt about this from the very first start of this was Sophie Giordano. And we talked about it a little bit earlier, but you remember we were there on the coaches show and she looked
Hmm.
right in the camera and said, "We're going to Sulphur, we're going to Fresh, and we're going to win this thing." And lo and behold, she backed up on it. I mean, she re-upped on it every single time opportunity she had.
She did. She had no wavering doubt that we weren't going to do what we did last year, and that kind of led the belief with the team. And it, like you said, it took a while for everybody to kind of buy into it, but once everybody had that belief, it just seemed like we were destined to do what we did.
Absolutely. All right, coach, let's close the door on 2025 and jump
Hmm.
ahead to 2026 because it is right around the corner. Some situations there, you lose your shortstop on, there's no doubt
Hmm.
about it. What do you think your plans are moving forward? Does Emma move over from second or maybe somebody else?
Well, we kind of had that up in the air because we had a couple girls that got soft hands. They understand what the game's about. But Emma's kind of taking the front running spot on that one. She's kind of taking the lead on it and kind of inserted herself there. And that's kind of what you need is you need somebody to take it over, not somebody to go and say, "Hey, can you play shortstop this year?" Or, "Hey, can you play second base this year?" You want to have that leadership to where they say, "You know what, this is going to be mine to take, and somebody else has got to beat me out."
So that'll move Emma over from second to shortstop. Who do you plug in there at second?
Surprisingly, looking at Mika Keogh right now, she's got some really soft hands. She's pretty smooth up the middle. She's done some stuff over the summer and in the fall. She looks pretty good there, so I think she's the front runner over there.
Well, so it's dominoes effect now because you'll move
Hmm.
her out of right field at that point because you're locked in with Bell over there in left field and Super Sawyer out in center field, no doubt about it. And so right field, is that the vacancy or is that open the air?
It's up in the air. I've got some girls I'm looking at, but the one thing we did have last year was an abundance of outfielders. So I have
Yes.
confidence in whoever we put in out there is going to do fine on the defensive side of the ball. It comes down to who's really going to hit and fit into that lineup.
Yeah, you were able to move around some things on there.
Hmm.
We saw Mika at the end of the year that saved some innings on Kaylee, especially in those double headers. What does your stable of pitchers look like? Do you have something behind Kaylee?
We're still looking at the same. Bell throws a little bit. Mika obviously throws a little bit. Jane's growing up. She was throwing well in the fall and in the summer, so she's looking all right. We've got some options to be able to fill some innings. We had a girl transfer in, but unfortunately she's ineligible, so we don't have that option this year. But we're going to pitch by committee. Okay, we're going to put the right girl in at the right time, and we'll patchwork that one together again.
Look, I got to feel that committee's led led by Kaylee. That's
Absolutely.
that's that's for sure. But and it's not. Look, it's the arm is amazing. We all know
Hmm.
that, but it's the grit and the character and the integrity that she brings to that circle every time. She is just a bulldog out there.
She is, and but we still got to, especially down the stretch, we got to be able to get her to those points where we can save her and not have to put her in those stressful situations throughout the course of the year. She handled the brunt of it last year, and she handled it like a champ. No pun intended, but she's going to do the same again this year. And now that she's got college out of the way, she's got her signing coming up on the 22nd, so now she can focus on just softball and being able to go out there and play.
Let's jump over to the batting side of it too. Sawyer has been. It seems like she's been your leadoff hitter for 10 years. Uh, what does she do at the top of a lineup or at the top of an inning when she's leading off to set the tone?
She understands the situation, and I think that's one of her biggest strengths. She understands that if a girl's got a bunch of different pitches, okay, let's go up there and try to work the count and let her throw some different stuff, kind of see what the defense is going to do, because she's got the fact that she can put one down, she can slap it, she can still hit for power. As we saw last year, she got herself a couple home runs. So she brings that big unknown to the top of the lineup, but she's really smart and understanding, okay, do I need to jump on this pitcher, or do I need to sit back and let some girls see some other stuff? So she's real smart in that aspect.
Look, and it goes out when she gets on the bases. If she's there at a single or she's walked or whatever it is, man, it just puts such pressure on the pitcher catcher combination at infield because she's going to be a single is as good as a triple in my book with her. She's going to get after it, but she's just as dynamic out in center field.
Absolutely. She's a two-way player for sure. She controls center field out there. She understands how to position the girls out there. But yeah, I mean, when she gets on the bases, her, Emma Davis as well, they're really great base runners. They're fast. They understand the game. So they get those little nuances like, okay, we get a ball in the dirt. I'm taking that extra base. It doesn't have to scoot away from the catcher to be able to take that extra step. And having that on the bases is invaluable for sure.
Definitely it is. All right, Coach, we've talked about a lot of the returners. We've talked about the exit of Sophie and Amelie, of course. Who is somebody that, and I followed a lot of Menard Lady Eagle softball. Who is somebody that you're going to say, look, Doug, you need to keep an eye on her this year?
Honestly, I think that's going to be Parker Nalbandian this year. She was kind of quiet, but she came in. She was young last year. She was small, but she had a good swing. She hit stuff well in the cages. She put together good at bats throughout the year. She came in and ran some bases. I think she could really be a dark horse that could really help us this year.
Look, that would have been one of those thoughts that I had for sure. Now that you get Kenzie into high school and she's no longer an eighth grader
Mhm.
that's out there playing. Everybody knows about her. That folks pitch her a little bit differently. How has her approach changed, or is she just getting better at what she does?
She's getting better at her craft, and that's what you got to do. You can't really worry about how things are going to attack you. You work on your craft, and if you got good hand-eye coordination, you can understand pitch shapes and situations, which she's starting to do. She's going to do just fine.
There you go, Coach. We're looking forward to another big season. There's one pressing concern that I've had that I think needed to get fixed from last season to this season. And you could tell me, Doug, mind your business, get in the broadcast booth and where you belong. But I got to ask you this. Have you worked on fielding the ground ball when you're in the third base box? Because that was
I
a that
have,
was
I
a
have. That
struggle.
was It wasn't too much of a struggle. Yeah, I missed some plays, but it's getting used to those close quarters on the baseball field. I got time to see that thing when it's coming off those walls at different angles. I've been working with a tennis ball, getting my hands a little bit softer, reaction time. I feel like I'm a player again.
So you're doing the drills and you're getting back into it.
You have to. You have to. I can't look like a fool over there too much.
Look, I just don't understand how only the clips of you missing the ball got on the air and none of
I
the
know
clips
y'all
of you
never got
catching.
the good plays that I made.
I don't know how that happened, Coach. We're going to try to do better, and I'll work some more on that so that it doesn't look like you're booting them every single time.
I appreciate that. And my fielding percentage are going to go up this year. I promise.
Absolutely love it. Before we get out of here, tell me about the coaching guys that are coaching with you. They do a tremendous job.
They really do. I can't say enough about Charles Cologne and especially Hunter Arno. unfortunately, I'm a non-faculty coach, so I'm not there. I don't have my eyes and ears at the school all the time. Hunter teaches there, so he's got the pulse on what's going on at the school, how the girls' grades are doing, how they're being character-wise in the classroom. So he has been the most invaluable coach to me for sure. But Charles has been great help with the pitchers and catchers. He can kind of helps keep Kaylee kind of wrangled, gets Kate in the right mindset. So those guys are great.
Absolutely love it. And that's the testament to it. And you can see the love and admiration you guys all have for each other as a part of this. And one of those things, Coach, that I wanted to thank you for publicly. At the end of the season, you presented us with this picture, and it hangs in a wall in our office in here too. It was a photo of the team and autographed by all of the players and you guys. And I just wanted to thank you for that for sure.
Well, Doug, we love you tremendously. You were as much a part of that run last year, being around the girls, and like you said, they even had you do the senior night stuff. So
That was
you were
special.
just as much as a part of that as we were. So that was a no-brainer right there. We appreciate everything you do.
It was certainly special, and can't wait to get the Eagles Nest Coaches Show cranked back up. Looking
I'm
forward
ready.
to that and this 2026 season. So, head coach Brad Turney of the defending Division IV Select State Champion Lady Eagles, thank you for being a part of this.
Thanks, Doug. I really appreciate it.
You got it. Guys, that's going to wrap this one up. We will see you the next episode on there. Stay tuned. Tell your friends about it. And don't forget, if you want to go back and watch some of these episodes, make sure that you hop on over to our YouTube page. Look on our playlist for the Pelican Softball Report. For Coach Brad Turney, I am Doug Gann. God bless you all and good night.